In one of her videos, Kristi Burke talks about the scientific method, and she describes it as trying to prove yourself wrong, and I think that's a good description. However, in the same video, I note that she begins with statements like this: I have never had a supernatural or spiritual experience. We don't have any method to study the supernatural. And that doesn't sound very much like trying to prove yourself wrong to me. Now, I get it. 95% of us have the same relationship with religion as we do with science. So I have never seen an atom, an electron or a quark. I've never seen evolution in progress or any number of scientific phenomena. But I trust the 5% of us who have, and I believe that what they say is true. And I can see the technological benefits that we all have as a result of this knowledge of the world. But the same can also be said of religion. I myself have never had a spiritual or supernatural experience, but I have spoken to people that have, and I have read many written accounts of the same sorts of experiences, and to me they appear credible at the very least. But for me, one of the most compelling pieces of evidence are those who have looked into these matters and have changed their mind. So here are 4 scientists trained in the methods of materialistic science who investigated events that their training told them were impossible and who proved themselves wrong. If you want to learn more, you'll find information in the description to this video. Pim Van Lommel was born in March 1943. He's a cardiologist who was led to investigate near-death experiences after having heard accounts of the phenomena. He began by asking his own patients about memories of events which took place while on the operating table, and he was surprised by the frequency of those events. His research resulted in his book, published in 2007. Peter Fenwick was born in May 1935, and he's a British neuropsychiatrist and neurophysiologist. When he first heard of near-death experiences, Fenwick's first thought was, that's the sort of thing that happens in California, never in rational Great Britain. But on further investigation, he found that they did indeed occur, and with remarkable frequency. Since then, he spent much of his time investigating the dying process and the thinning of the veil between this world and the next as we approach death. Ibn Alexander III was born in December 1953 and is a neurosurgeon. He was a nominal Christian, and he says he attended family church services out of a sense of obligation more than anything else. But in November 2008, he suffered a bout of bacterial meningitis, as a result of which he spent a significant period of time unconscious and in a coma. During that time, Alexander experienced another world altogether, which he records in great detail in his book, Proof of Heaven, A Neurosurgeon's Journey into the Afterlife, published in 2012. And he emphasises that his medical training declared his experience to be impossible. He also insists that what he saw was not delusion. He said he did experience delusion as part of his recovery journey, but those perceptions, while supposedly unconscious, were crystal clear and real. And finally, Emanuel Swedenborg, born in 1688 and died in 1772. He followed a successful career in science and engineering with 30 years reporting spiritual encounters. Swedenborg's early contributions to the sciences include learning over 20 languages, the first workable design for a flying machine, and descriptions of the anatomy and working of the brain, 200 years ahead of his time. But in the 1740s, his search for the human soul led him to record and analyse his own dreams, and finally led to spectacular spiritual experiences recorded in books such as Heaven and Hell and True Christianity. Swedenborg wrote this: I am well aware of the fact that many people will say that nobody can possibly speak to spirits or angels as long as he is living in the body, and that many will call it delusion. Some will say that I have spread these ideas around so as to win people's trust, while others will say something different again. But none of this deters me, for I have seen, I have heard, I have felt.